Good day. I want to officially introduce nation building varieties. It is a vision that has been leading with purpose for years now. The nation building variety (NBV) actually has three major subsidiaries: Tech Services and Products Limited, Afrijet and Nation Building Development Initiative, and the Christ-born Ministry International. That is the spiritual perspective of nation building varieties. I have not been a voiceless person for years, even in the midst of painful experiences. In fact, it was during those time of painful experiences that most of life impact were being revealed to me by God. And so one way or the other, I'll be continuing. But officially, I'm introducing nation building, and it's coming under the umbrella of NBV Resource Ventures. And those three aspects of it are already mentioned. Now, for Tech Services and Product Limited, it has educational components, mentorship, training, and a whole lot of items that we need to focus on. For Afrijet and Nation Building, we are looking at the global, my message for the global village, Africa and Nigeria. And Nigeria in particular, being the giant of Africa, I can tell you for sure that we are yet to explore the potential that exists in Nigeria, even to 10%. It's just 10 over 100. And so it means that Nigeria is a country, is a nation so rich in material and human resources, but it's yet to be really built. And then we have that of the spiritual aspect of it, Samaritan push, where we need to show love and compassion to one another in the spirit of building a virile and profitable and peaceful nation. The last 10 years of my life has been very traumatic. Well, you may want to compare it to the experience of Job. And I think the only difference is that while Job's children's animals were being taken away, in my own case, it was my source of income that was really affected. And as you can see, and as you can know, that if a man's source of income is affected, that man might be as good as being a dead person. And so I want to really appreciate a personality that came into my life during that time of challenge. I use this opportunity to appreciate engineer Dr. Farapoju. He got to know about what I was passing through, and he really stood until, as we all know, there's no permanent friends and there's no permanent enemy. So I really appreciate him for what God used him to do. And I want to let him know that what he did during those times that he came into our life at the moment of painful experiences was ordained by God. You should not see it as ordinary. Now, it will be interesting to know that it was during the last decade of painful experiences that the real nature of what God wanted me to do for the globe, for the African continent, for Nigeria actually came to end. I keep on documenting. And it may be scary for me to mention the number of resources that God has enabled me to put down at the time when even feed was a serious challenge. You got to a stage I keep on asking God, why is He giving me all this when I'm passing through this type of financial challenges? But people that get to know, people that have insight, people that have discernment, that see what I was passing to keep on telling me, no, it's all this for a purpose. And like Job, as you could see, even the best of his friend eventually misunderstood him. In the same way, I was abandoned by friends, mates, colleagues, neighbors, even churches. Some of them see me as somebody that is. But when you are passing through challenges that even you yourself cannot define at a given point in time, then you should envisage all sorts of things happening to you. And so now, by the favor of grace, all these experiences are culminated into what I'm bringing on board to rebuild Nigeria. Nigeria is my main focus, is my main target. The reason is because God blessed us so much in Nigeria that is yet to be really built. You see, protests cannot be the solution to solving Nigeria's problem. In fact, the most effective protest in Nigeria that will happen in Nigeria will be very catastrophic. The reason is because we have intertwined, we have mixed up ethnically, tribally. We have mixed up everywhere. Go to offices, you see outside. So protest will not be a solution. And if any protest is successful, I can tell you it's going to be catastrophic. And God forbid, where are we going? Look at the population. Look at everything. You can't be comparing ourselves to Burkina Faso and some other small countries. These are just countries that are just like a state. If what happened in some of these states should happen in Nigeria, then we may say that there will be the end of the largest black race of people in the world. And so, in the next, the remaining years that I have ahead of me, God willing, I will be broadcasting online in those three different perspectives: TSP, ANGA, and CBMI. And then you'll be seeing me featuring in diversity of ways, all in the build to make this world, this continent, this nation Nigeria, this great nation Nigeria, a befitting place to be. Please be on the lookout. I need everyone cooperation. I need everyone understanding. I need everyone support in whatever capacity God will enable you. Because what the message I have for the world, for the African continent, for nation, I pray I will be able to ensure this even before I leave this world. And I don't want to be held responsible. I don't want to be held accountable. That at the end, by the time my sojourn on this come to termination, and God will now be asking me of what are the message He has asked to deliver. And that is why I'm under compulsion. I'm under compulsion to begin the online broadcast fully. And I know for the past, during those 10 years, the last 10 years, you might have been seeing my messages on Facebook, my contribution, and in the educational sector, in the spiritual sector, in the religious sector, globally, locally, in all diversity. And that is just an insight. The real show, the real impact is coming full glow by the grace of God. And it is in the process of rebuilding the nation, rebuilding the continent, rebuilding the world. And the trouble that is taking place all over the Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Russia, and all those things is because we have refused as humanity to rebuild ourselves, to live purposefully and peacefully. And so there is no gain, there is no profit in war, and there is need for people to come up with messages that God has given so that the whole world will be at peace. We thank God for people like Showore and a whole lot of others that have intervened one way or the other. But I want to tell them that sometimes going the kinetic approach to some of these things may not really solve a problem, especially a nation like Nigeria that has remained unbuilt for several years. That a lot of things has not been properly impacted into our leaders right from when they are in kindergarten. They are, look at nations like Japan and all that. Look at the educational system. How they first of all ensure that it's nation building first before academic jargons. But here in Nigeria, we just enter, copy everything, put everything in our head, do an exam, do a lot of funny things, and before you know it, leaders emerge out of all those things. So we need to begin to talk to nation. We need to talk to our leaders. We need to contribute. You can see that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his own way, is making his own little impact. Though some of his reform may be too harsh on us, but from the feeling I'm getting recently, I just to know that it's all for a purpose, and we need to cooperate with him. And so what we need to be doing is to contribute by voicing out in a peaceful and gentle way to some of these our leaders, and we will end up having a nation that is beautiful. So be on the lookout for my messages on my YouTube channel, Nation Building Variety. Okay, I already have educational videos in that particular channel. Initially it used to be TSP, but I've changed it to Nation Building Variety. Educational videos for nursery, primary, secondary, down to tertiary level. So this spirit of those production will continue, and some of these production tools that I'm introducing now will also continue. So please, I want to sincerely welcome you on board, and I pray that God will help us to be able to accomplish our purpose for humanity. Thank you, and God bless you.